All right, Marc Warnke here with Outdoors International. I wanted to quickly talk about backcountry nutrition and just trying to kind of stay mentally, spiritually, and physically sound while you're in the outdoors. When you're in deep, one of the biggest things you struggle from is just the lack of calories, the lack of sleep, and physical exertion. And because of that, by day 3, 4, and 5, you start realizing how much salt you actually have, or you start realizing how little you're actually taking care of your nutrition. If you're that guy that gets through elk season and you lose 13 or 25 pounds, you're doing it wrong. You need to be keeping your weight on. Your body needs that. Your brain needs that. All the resiliency, all those things, you shouldn't be harvesting from your own body just to sustain. You should be bringing in good nutrition. So let's talk about kind of my plan and how I do it. So let's start with breakfast. Breakfast for me is always a mountain house. I like the eggs with bacon because it's heavy on protein. And then what I always mix with it is 1/3 of a brick of butter. So now I got lots of fat, I got lots of protein. This will stick with me and I'm good till about 10:30 or 11. Then at 10:30 or 11, I eat 1/2 of the Pro Bar. Now remember, these Pro Bar meal replacers have almost as much calories and food in them as a whole mountain house. So I can do half of one of these. So then I'll eat one of those to kind of skip me over to lunch. And then lunch, due to a good friend of mine, Brian Oakland, I've now adopted the tortilla, bunch of peanut butter, and some honey as lunch. And I'll eat 2 of these, and then I'll eat another Pro Bar, the other half of my Pro Bar. That usually gets me along, but what I supplement with is bacon. So I'll cook up just literally pounds of bacon. And when you cook bacon really crispy, it ends up getting really light, and because it's so salty, it stays for a long time. So I always have a big bag of bacon with me, and again, I'm focusing on fat because of calorie density and fat and how long it stays with you. I kind of think about fat as a slow burn, I think about protein as a mid burn, and I think about things like this as a super fast burn. And then I'll do things like supplement with pocket candy. I like chocolates and chocolate covered almonds and Reese's. Those are just to solve immediate needs and just to try to take in calories.
So what happens if you don't have enough protein?
You can see that I use Goat, so it gives me the luxury of having some work power to bring in some more stuff with me. The other thing that I do that you got to be conscientious of. Are you guys done? Chester's caught up. Come on. Hey. Hey. Quit it. All right. So the other thing that I try to stay conscientious of is that there are some great supplements out there, and Warrior Refuel makes one that really helps me, and this is their Rehydrate Refuel. So it's hydration and recovery and endurance. So this is what I'm sipping in my water bottle throughout the day. I like to have drinks rather than just water with no flavor, and then if I can add water with flavor with something that's helping my muscles to recover and to rehydrate and to do that, I don't get as sore as I used to now since I've been using this. And then the other thing is, this is brand new. You can see this is another Warrior Fuel product. It doesn't even have the labels made, but this is called Elevate. And what it does is it's got like 10 different kinds of mushrooms in it that help us to process oxygen on a higher level. And I used to study a lot about this stuff because of the whole endurance training and everything else. You can survive for literally days, well, weeks without food, days without water, but you can only survive, minutes without oxygen. And so oxygen is being a core element. If you can increase your ability to take in oxygen with a mixture in your drink, and at the same time, this kind of has some caffeine and some stuff that'll kind of get you up in the morning. I also have been drinking this and found this to be really nice as well. So that's kind of my plan. The last thing I would mention is don't forget at elevation, you sleep really crappy. Not only do you get non-deep sleep, but when you're begging for sleep, we're already going to bed at like 9 during elk season, getting up at 4. And when that happens, what I do is I use melatonin. Now remember, melatonin, a lot of people think that you can overdose or whatever. You can't. If you ever tried this before and you're like, it didn't really work for me, you just didn't have enough, you can take a ton of this. They put people on IV drips of this to fight cancer in Germany, so it's an antioxidant. So melatonin's really, really good, especially at elevation, to take these to help you to fall asleep quick and to stay in your deep sleep, which is really hard to do at high elevation. So melatonin's a big key as well. So sleep, get good nutrition, take care of yourself, and just be better on day 6. That's the hard day. So for dinner, I'll do a 2.5 serving of the Mountain House, and then again, I'm gonna add more butter. Because again, these do a good job of having a lot of protein. They don't do a good job of having a lot of fat. And you don't even notice this is in there. I'm not getting it in there for flavor. I'm getting it in there to have a good raw source of fat. If you're trying to save ounces and you're backpacking, you can actually bring in like a little tube of extra virgin olive oil and use that, and it'll also give you additional fat-based calories. So hope that helps. Good stuff. Good luck.